The most critical issue facing AIDS is for people to be aware of their HIV positive status or not. And the only way that can really happen, and the only way we can really get control of the epidemic, is for people to be tested. That is really the, by far, most effective way for prevention and slowing down the rate of new infections. Because the more means that people have to learn of their HIV status, the better chance that we have to combat this terrible epidemic. And we've seen over the years, as more and more testing technology has become available, that in fact people are aware that not only can they be tested, but that the availability of the manageable antiretroviral therapeutic regimes certainly is an encouraging reason for people to be tested, because they know that if they are positive, that there's a way for them to manage their lives and go on with normal lives, even if they're HIV positive, as we've increasingly seen in the world today. Well, Chembio specializes in the development and manufacture of point-of-care diagnostic tests for infectious diseases. In particular, we focused on the development and manufacture of rapid tests for HIV. In fact, that constitutes the majority of our business today. And we have now a patented platform known as Dual Path Platform, or trademarked as DPP, which is providing a pipeline of new products for us that include new rapid diagnostic tests for HIV, as well as other related sexually transmitted diseases, such as syphilis and other diseases that can be co-infected. People with HIV can be co-infected with, such as hepatitis C. Yes, we have actually 2 FDA-approved rapid HIV tests marketed in the U.S. By our marketing partner Alere under the brand names of Clearview Complete and Clearview HIV 1/2 Stat Pack. And those same products are marketed globally by Chembio under our trade names of SureCheck and also Chembio HIV 1/2 Stat Pack. In addition, we have our first DPP HIV rapid test, and that product is undergoing clinical trials now in the United States, but it has already been approved internationally by the U.S. President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief Program, and most recently in Brazil, where we believe they'll be implementing a new screening program of pregnant women utilizing our test. Well, having universal access means that people have as great of an opportunity to learn of their HIV status as possible, because people need to be able to take control of their lives and to be able to take the steps necessary to understand what options they have. And until they get access to the information, to the technology, to the therapeutics, to the prevention measures, we'll never get control of any epidemic, including but not limited to HIV. There's been an increasing amount of funding over the last many years that has gone to prevention as well as treatment and care efforts across the globe. And those efforts have continued. And for example, in the United States in 2008, in his last year of office, President Bush, who actually authored in his administration this most far-reaching program called PEPFAR, renewed it at a much larger funding level, and thankfully the Obama administration has continued the large-scale funding somewhere in the neighborhood of $7 billion a year for global health initiatives, which primarily but not exclusively includes HIV prevention programs. And similarly, international relief efforts led by the Global Fund to fight HIV, tuberculosis, and malaria have also continued to their significant funding levels. Is the funding level of these programs enough to get ahead of the epidemic? No. But it is a huge step forward, and it is, particularly in these economic times, a valued contribution. And when you combine that with some of the other donor-funded efforts, whether it be the Clinton Foundation, Bill Gates, other relief organizations, Doctors Without Borders. There's been a significant ramping up of the efforts. Other countries, bilaterally, multilaterally, are all contributing to this effort, and they all realize collectively, we all realize, that really the only long-term solution to getting control of these devastating diseases, and specifically HIV, is through prevention. That's the only way you're going to slow down the new rate of infection and prevent other people from being infected by people becoming aware of their status. During November, we received $1.5 million, approximately $1.5 million of grant awards pursuant to this program initiated under the new healthcare law in the United States known as Qualifying Therapeutic Discovery Projects. And included in those projects are several of the products that we have in our pipeline that will be the next generation tools for fighting HIV as well as other related sexually transmitted diseases. And included in those products, for example, is a combination antigen and antibody HIV rapid test that will seek to get into what we call the seroconversion window, which is that period between getting infected and producing an immune response earlier, thereby allowing us to detect infection at an earlier and earlier stage, and this is going to greatly help prevention efforts. We also have a hepatitis C and syphilis test that are being funded through this grant program, and these are also going to be important tools for many of the same population segments that are at risk for HIV.